Hello, Vanessa Webb Stampin Up Demonstrator Australia here today with a new stamp set I'm going to be playing with. I'm going to show you a couple of cards that I've been making and I'm using a couple of new products that you'll find in the brand new online exclusives. Now here is the flyer for our online exclusives. This is by no means all of them. This is just a sampling of what you will find online, and there will be brand new products coming out periodically throughout the year that are not going to be in any catalogue, so you will only be able to see them online. Now that doesn't mean you necessarily have to order them online. You can ring me with your list of products that you'd like to get, and I'm happy to organise that for you. But they are only pictured online, and there's some great samples on there too, so you'll want to go and check them out. So the stamp set that I'm playing with is not pictured on the flyer, but it is in the brand new online exclusive. It's called Growth Takes Time, and I particularly love the images of this. I also really love the greetings in this one, so really inspirational and a nice greeting. You'll find a nice greeting if you want to just send an encouragement card or a just because card. It's one that you'll be able to use throughout the whole year. So today I'm going to be focusing on this large tree stamp, and I'm also going to use this one, this greeting here that says be gentle with yourself. Great reminder. I need to remind myself of that as well, but I also have a few people in my life that I would want to remind them of that truth as well, to be gentle with themselves. Okay, so the other thing that I'm going to be playing with is the naturally gilded 12 by 12 designer series paper. So there's a picture of it. Let me show you what it looks like in real life. It is really versatile because it has a lovely white background. You've got that the silver, copper or gold foil as the design. And the white background allows you to come in with another colour, so you can either use direct paper with your ink pad, you can use your blending brushes, which I'm going to have a bit of a play with as well. You can alter the look of this or leave it as is, and I like the fact that they have all the three metallic foils in the background, so you can pick and choose. This one also has very vanilla in the background, the gold. I really like that. So I'm actually going to be using the gold. I've already cut a piece out which I will mount on some basic black cardstock. This is just cut, the basic black is cut 10 by 14.5 or just under 14.5. And this one's cut a little bit smaller again, so that they will fit together, and you'll have just a really small surround with the black, and then that is going to fit on top of a fresh freezer card base, which I'll be bringing in. So the first thing I want to do with my gorgeous paper, and this paper is called Naturally Gilded, you can see where it gets its name from. I actually want to use some fresh freezer ink in the background, and that's just going to give it a nice purple glow for me to put the other elements of my card on. So I'm just going to build up the color gradually. Fresh freezer is a lovely soft color, and it will take a little while for me to build up the right saturation of color, but I basically want it so that it fills the whole of the top 2/3, just sort of radiating out from the middle there, the top 2/3 of my naturally gilded 12 by 12 specialty paper. And you'll see right away that the color is only appearing in the background. It is not showing up on the foil, the gold foil. And in fact, gold foil resists the color, whereas the very vanilla background really picks it up. So you'll get what's sort of a lovely sort of glowing effect in the background. You can see that appearing. So just apply that as needed. If you want to add more, just keep going with it. But I think that is going to be enough for my card. So you can see I'm sort of concentrating it up in the top 2/3 or maybe 3/4 of that piece. Alrighty. The next thing I'm going to do is bring in some basic black cardstock, and this is not the cardstock I'm wanting, it's this one here, which is actually, let me just double check the size. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so this is my scrap piece that I'm going to stamp my tree onto. So I'm going to use the larger tree in the images that come in this set. It's a really beautiful tree. It could be any type of tree. It could be an oak tree, it could be a fig tree. So I'm just going to use my embossing buddy from the Embossing Essentials. And I've got my Versamark ink pad. Because it's a larger stamp, I'll flip it over and I'll just use my ink pad like a sponge to make sure that I get really good coverage. I don't want to miss out on any of the lovely detail in that stamp. So just make sure your stamp's looking nice and wet before you stamp it on, and I'm going to stamp it right down onto that basic black. Now I also already have my gold embossing powder in my tray, so this is the smaller of the trays. So I've just let that fall over the top so that it only grabs where I've inked with that stamp image. And then I'm going to heat emboss it. Good, so that has all melted. Now I'm just going to simply fussy cut this out using my paper snips. We don't have a die set for this image or for this stamp set, but it is super easy just to go around. Your paper snips will make it really simple for you. If you leave a couple of millimeters, this is a technique I've shared with many of you over the years. Leave a couple of millimeters around your image so that you're not actually going too close to the image. You don't have to cut out all of the details either. You can just go in as far as you want to or need to. And basically what you want to do is just capture some of that leaf detail with your cutting, but there's no need to go overboard and go into every little nook and cranny of this image. You'll see that the effect is still quite good. There's a lot of detail in the stamp, so I would save yourself a little bit of time and not try to cut out every single element. You will still get that lovely detailed look. Now, of course, this stamp is a line art stamp, so you could stamp it in your Memento and use your Stampin' Blends to colour it in. You could also stamp it in StazOn and watercolour the stamp image, and it will give it a completely different look. This is a really nice sort of silhouette look. I've stamped it obviously on the basic black and then embossed it in gold, so it's quite a dramatic look. But I am really happy with how that turned out on my original card. So I've just done exactly the same. So I'm going to pop that back to the side. And now for my greeting, again, I want to heat emboss and carry that gold embossing through the whole card. And I'm going to use that greeting that I mentioned before that says, "Be gentle with yourself." I really like that one. It's such a good reminder. Okay, again, I'm going to just grab my my powder that's already in my tray, give it a shake, and then I'm going to heat emboss that. There we go. Now this colour, the Fresh Freesia, along with all of the other in colours that were introduced to us two catalogues ago, are actually retiring. So if you don't have your Fresh Freesia re-inker, or you don't have enough Fresh Freesia cardstock, if it is one of your favourite colours, or indeed any of the other 2021 to 2023 in colours, you need to get them now so that you don't miss out on any of those colours, especially your favourites. You don't want to be stuck with an ink pad that you can't re-ink. That's the worst. And again, with some of the embellishments like the ribbons and the loose flower embellishments, etc., you'll find a lot of those featured in colours. And if you really like them, now is the time to get them. Next month they will be on the retiring list, and they will sell out really quickly. They always do. Speaking from experience of 17 years as a demonstrator, yeah, you need to get these things now. I am just going around these words with my paper snips again, to accentuate each word. You don't have to cut them all out individually. The way I've designed my card, though, I think really suits the words just being applied to the card separately as each individual word. And you'll find that it kind of lends to the, I guess it's a little bit of a vintage feel to the card. It's kind of a little bit naive, the artwork in the imagery as well. So I just thought I'd go with that loosely cut, and here's the word B, which is going to be at the top. So yeah, it's kind of fun to cut around words like this and then apply them to your project, because it makes your project different to anybody else's, which is kind of nice. The way you might cut your words and apply them to the project is actually different to other people, so it makes your project unique. All right, so there is my naturally gilded 12 by 12 designer series paper. I've got my greetings sitting aside here. What I want to do is grab some dimensionals, and I'm going to use those to apply my tree and also my words to my project. So I'm going to grab some of the larger dimensionals for the tree, and you want that to be fairly well supported. Also just grab a little one here and a little one for the middle or the side here, so that you've got your tree very well supported when it sits in the middle of the card. And I'm just ripping off the backs of those. I'm going to center this right over where I have done my shading. So I want it to be in the top 2/3 of the card, so that you can still see that lovely Fresh Freesia glow around, isn't that pretty, around the tree. And again, I'm going to grab some of the smaller dimensionals for these words. The small ones will fit mostly as is, but I may need to cut some down. That's okay. So be gentle. I've got the word gentle. The word be needs a little bit of help with just something a little bit smaller. So this is where you can use the surrounds of your dimensionals, and you can just cut a little bit with your snips like that and place it right behind the word, and then peel off the back. And it's the perfect size for your word. Here we go. So I've got this. This is another. And again, I might just grab a little bit of a smaller dimensional piece. I love how you can use the surrounds of these. So when you've finished all your dimensionals, you don't throw them out. You actually use them on other projects. They're actually great for shaker cards and things like that too, when you need straight edges. So the word yourself is just going to be down there, and the word with, again, I'll just grab a little bit of the side and I will peel that off and apply it to the back of my word. There we go, and with goes there. All right, so there is my Be Gentle With Yourself. You can see that sort of standing out from the background because it's white on the very vanilla, but also because I popped it up on those little dimensional pieces. And there's my tree. I was going to use some of our new loose frosted dots. Now these are also from the online extras, online exclusives, and they are $14 for 360. They are just so pretty. But because we are retiring some of these colors, I thought I'm going to use my embellishments that correspond with the in colors. And these are the in color opal rounds. And again, I'm just going to use my spatula from the Take Your Pick tool, and I'll go in and grab the Fresh Freesia opal rounds and just apply them on my project. I think maybe 5 might be a good number. There we go. That's pretty much used up nearly all of my Fresh Freesia opal rounds. How pretty are they? They've got some little sparkles in the middle of them, so they actually look like little droplets of water. They're a little bit more subtle. My original card had those new frosted dots on it, so I'll bring that in a second and show you, and I'll show you a couple of other cards that I've made using this similar technique. So just applying some glue on the back and then applying this to my basic black piece. And here's my card base in Fresh Freesia again. Love this color, really gonna miss it. Don't be caught out if it's your favorite color. Make sure you get some, stock up on some now before it goes forever. There we go. How pretty is that? Really like that card. I'm thinking, yeah, so here is the one with the loose frosted dots on it. So that's kind of a little bit, and they're not Fresh Freesia, obviously they're just a pink color. So they're just a little bit more distinct in the background, but these ones actually coordinate really nicely with the color. Let me bring in another one. So this one is using the soft succulent card base, and I've used my soft succulent mini blending brush actually this time because it's a smaller area. And here's my little tree that has been embossed in silver because I've used the silver naturally gilded specialty paper. I've also run my scissors around the edge of that one just to give it a little bit more of a roughed up look. Silver embossing for the greeting, and that is Pretty Peacock. That's the loose frosted dots in Pretty Peacock, which goes really nicely with soft succulent, by the way. So if you're wanting to combine those two colors. And here's another one that I created with the other color that's retiring. I'll put that down the bottom of my video. And there is some matching ribbon, and I've used the crushed curry frosted dots, loose frosted dots in the background, and that's using the copper naturally gilded designer series paper, and of course embossed in copper. But this time I've just used my circle framelits to cut out the different elements, the seed, the little seedling, and the fully grown tree. And I love this greeting, growth takes time. I embossed that in black, by the way. So all these details will be in down the bottom of my video. what I've used and links to my online store. I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I hope you're inspired to make some cards of your own using some of these great new products. You can get them now in my online store. Just head over to www.vanessawebb.stampinup.net and browse and shop my store there. Alternatively, you can email me, give me a call, and I'll be happy to organise your order for you there. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.